These are exciting times for believers in Christ who are interested in Bible prophecy. So many things that are suggested by unfulfilled future prophecies seem to be trending out in our world like never before. And that's why we reserve a few minutes Sunday morning to discuss a few of those things. We're careful to use recognized, reliable sources for news and information. We don't want to get sensational. And we're never saying that the things we report are fulfilling prophecy, only that they're the things you'd expect from reading the Bible literally. We talk a lot about the mark of the beast. It's described in Revelation 13. All, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, receive a mark on their right hand or forehead, and no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark. Question, could the mark involve biometrics, using our own body to identify us and to transact all business? It seems possible, if not likely. We're definitely trending towards what they call secure biometrics, palm vein scans or retinal scans or implanted chips. Many other technologies could qualify as hand or forehead marks. The latest articles I read along these lines involve passports. One was titled, "At Dubai Airport, Travelers' Eyes Become Their Passports." Let me read you some excerpts from the article. The Dubai Airport, which is the world's busiest for international travel, is rolling out another edition from the realm of science fiction, an iris scanner that verifies one's identity and eliminates the need for any human interaction when entering or leaving the country. It's the latest artificial intelligence program the United Arab Emirates has launched amid the surging coronavirus pandemic. Contactless technology the government promotes as helping to stem the spread of the virus. In recent years, airports across the world have accelerated their use of time-saving facial recognition technology to move passengers to their flights. But Dubai's iris scan improves on the more commonplace automated gates seen elsewhere, authorities said, connecting the iris data to the country's facial recognition databases so the passenger needs no identifying documents or boarding pass. Another article was titled, "China Issues World's First COVID Vaccine Passport." Here's some excerpts from that article. The Chinese health certificates show a user's vaccination status and recent coronavirus test results. They're being hailed as the world's first virus passport, with similar schemes planned in Britain, the US, and the EU. The QR code-based digital certificate will promote world economic recovery and facilitate cross-border travel, a foreign ministry spokesman said. Ministry spokesman Zhao Lujian said, "The pandemic is still with us, but the world economy needs to be restarted and people-to-people exchanges resumed with no more delay." Comes as the International Air Travel Association, which represents 290 airlines, is set to launch an app that allows immigration and authorities to share travelers' COVID vaccination data. Singapore Airlines will test run the app on its Singapore to London flights. Up to 30 more airlines will roll out the app over the next 2 months. Denmark and Sweden are among other countries developing their own passports. Now, all of that is interesting with regard to travel, but here's something else that these articles are mentioning. In the UK, the government is considering the vaccine passports for pubs and restaurants. They could even be needed to go to the cinema and theater under plans being pushed by some ministers to help get businesses open again. And here's a similar quote from another article. Last month, Israel rolled out a long-awaited green pass, which allows people who have been vaccinated or recovered from the virus to take part in various activities, including cultural and sporting events. French President Emmanuel Macron recently suggested yet another more localized form of permission slip, the so-called health pass. This certification would only be valid within France's borders, but it would allow a fully vaccinated person to eat in restaurants and attend certain events. And so what we're looking at here is travel and dining and entertainment and really anything else, all controlled by some sort of a digital pass. It's obvious such a system would be much simpler and more secure if biometrics were involved. If say, they settled on your retinal scan, there'd be a database, and you'd be able to go in or out of places, attend events, buy or sell things based on what the government saw in your database. Everything would be controlled according to some mandate. Right now, it's COVID-19 and people are feeling like, that may be valid because they don't want to, give other people diseases or get the disease themselves. But essentially, we all know that we've surrendered rights and privacy in order to slow the spread. And the big question is, will all of this go away after the pandemic? It seems like they're expanding. It started with the pandemic. Now they're saying, well, this kind of a system would work for restaurants and sports clubs and sporting events and everything you want to do with your life. And so is that going to go away? Well, our own governor in his State of the State message delivered from an empty Dodger Stadium said, when this pandemic ends, and it will end soon, we are not going back to normal. Normal was never good enough. Normal accepts iniquity. Now, this didn't start off as a conspiracy. We're not people who believe in some sinister conspiracy. It's maybe satanic, but the governments of the world didn't get together and release COVID as a conspiracy, okay? But in light of what the governments have done in terms of lockdowns and tracing and surveillance and all, they kind of like that. They kind of like knowing everything you're doing and monitoring your behavior and telling you what you can and can't do, because it gives them an opportunity to promote their own ideological agendas. And so whether or not we're going back to normal is up in the air, but the politicians don't think we are. Biometrics could expand into a full-blown global social credit system. You could be restricted in buying and selling based on anything a government deems inappropriate. You could, for example, lose points for things like your political affiliation, gun ownership, or your religious beliefs. Right now, people are being censored on social media for all of those things. All we're saying this morning is this is exactly what we've been expecting from our literal futurist reading of the Bible's unfulfilled prophecies regarding the end times. It's almost like the world leaders finally got to Revelation 13 and said, hey, this is a great plan. Whatever, forget the Antichrist, we'll do it ourselves because we can control people. We believe the resurrection and the rapture of the church are imminent, could happen any moment, and nothing needs to happen before that event of the Lord's return. And it'll definitely happen before the Great Tribulation. So the question I ask each week for folks to answer is this: are you ready for the rapture? If not, get ready, stay ready, keep looking up, because ready or not, Jesus is coming.